Welcome to the Blaize interview. I'm Blaize, and this is
Remi Escobar.
Hey, this is one of my favorite comics, and I love her just because she's just funny and she's fun, and she's a coke dealer.
Oh yeah, totally.
But Remi, how did you get into comedy?
Well, so I'd always wanted to do it, but it was one of those things that you just say you're gonna do and you never get around to. And then I had done like one open mic night.
Wait, before we continue, I was actually pretty rude of me. I forgot to say, we have a special guest as well.
Gambit.
Gambit.
And Lucy.
Well, Lucy's always here, but Lucy has a party, and she had a partner to play with, and she's excited. Gambit's actually over here chilling, but Lucy over here, she's having the time of her life. Look at her. She's like, oh my god, I got a buddy. I got a friend. So, back to what you were saying. Sorry, but you were at an open mic?
I did an open mic night at the Silver Lake Lounge, which doesn't even do open mics anymore. But I went one Sunday, and there was like a mixture of musicians, people doing poetry, and like comedy. It was like a really weird place. I did 5 minutes of whatever came to my head at that moment.
Oh.
And I didn't do it again for like 2 years. And I just talked about that moment and like held on to that moment of glory and felt so cool.
Wait, what year was this?
That was like 2019.
2019, so before COVID.
Before COVID.
Okay.
And then I talked about it forever. All my friends were like, you need to do it. And then one day I was like, fine. So I signed up for an open mic night in my hometown. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being
your hometown is where?
Thousand Oaks. And so it ended up being like at a church owned by a building that was still owned by a church. So I had to keep it PG-13, which I barely did.
That's actually impressive. It's hard.
But those people laughed probably harder than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then after I did that, my friend got me for my birthday basically a class.
Oh.
I took Pretty Funny Woman classes. So if anyone's a woman, those classes are great. Lisa's a wonderful woman.
What's her name?
Lisa said it.
Issa said it?
Yeah, I'll spell it because it's not like it spells.
Yeah, that sounds like a very hard name.
It's a very hard name, but Lisa's cool. She teaches all women stand-up classes. I did a 7-week course, and at the end of it, you do like a graduation show at Flappers, and then like, if you're consistent with it, she'll put you on those Pretty Funny Women shows, which showcase every other Thursday, and they also do a comedy store in La Jolla.
Oh,
so
yes.
I've done the comedy store La Jolla because of her.
Nice.
And
good. That's nice. That's big.
Yeah. She's pretty cool. I've met some great women in these classes, and then just going to open mic nights with the ladies and other cool people. Obviously, that's how I met you. Was just doing comedy.
Doing Baka show.
Doing Baka shows.
Baka.
It's great.
Let's be fair. Most of the people that we are on this, most of them have been on the Baka show, so that's how I meet a lot of the comics. And, I love Baka shows. It's comedy roulette.
It really is, and it kind of keeps you sharp, and I think it's important. And you meet really cool people.
What are type of mics that what are your favorite type of mics? Like what are mics?
I like the all women mics.
Why is that?
Because women are way more supportive of other women than a group with a mixture of men and women. I'll be honest. Yeah, the men don't want to laugh at a woman most of the time.
Really?
I'm gonna be 100% honest.
Wow.
But listen. If you're in a situation where it's all women, and you're doing an open mic night, half of us are gonna do jokes about what each other has said based off of the men we've dated or something. So it's just the environment is much more it's rowdier probably than a group of all guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
you know what, I do say that because I've obviously never played women's sports, but I've seen women's sports, especially
women's sports are brutal. My sister's broken someone's nose before.
Soccer. For what?
I don't know, in soccer.
Just because she was beating a bitch or what?
No, the way she checked her.
She checked her, she just went bap.
Yeah. So.
I wasn't women are more vicious than men.
Oh yeah.
Women are very, when it comes to especially sports and revenge, women are calculating.
Oh, we can ruin a man's life.
Oh, easily. I've had my life ruined too many times by too many good women.
That's why men are getting smarter now and not having a lot of social media stuff that you can stalk, like a Facebook. If you have a Facebook, that's a It's like a gold mine.
I haven't posted anything to my Facebook for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, and you're safe then.
Yeah, well, the only thing I post on is I don't even have Twitter. The only thing I post is Instagram.
Yeah.
And the only thing I post on there is, pretty much like shows I'm doing. I barely post pictures of myself. I mean...
I'm a girl, so I post pictures of myself.
It's hard for me to post pictures of myself. I'm horrible at posting pictures of myself. I'm just not one to like take pictures.
I do a yearly birthday post.
Lucy.
They're loving each other.
I know, she's enjoying herself. She's having fun.
They're going to be tuckered out.
Hopefully.
So
yes, but
we both named our animals after someone we liked, though. That's cool.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I didn't really get to name her.
Oh, you didn't get to name her?
No, because she was originally my parents' dogs. I always like to say I rescued her from my parents.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they're older, and they're not really able to take her on walks as often.
Yeah.
So I take her on walks like twice a day. During the summer months a little less because...
She's humping him.
She's not humping him. She's just jumping on him.
She's putting her coochie castle in his goods.
In his face?
Yeah, in his face.
Those aren't his goods. You just...
Again, but it takes 21 minutes.
21 minutes? Oh, are we going to bring this up?
Yes, we should bring it up.
So, I've recently been reading a book called She Comes First. I forget who the author is right now. But basically, it's a book about Condoleezza. How do you say it?
I weirdly only know how to spell it.
Basically, it's just about, giving head to women. That's the best way I can describe it. Eating the puss. And so it's by Ian Kerner, PhD. And so basically, there's something that I found interesting about it, and it made sense to me because on average it takes men about 7 minutes to orgasm from head, from oral. But for women, on average, it takes 21 minutes. So I just think that's interesting because I got to all the men and women out there who aren't doing it. Why aren't you eating pussy long enough? Because let's be honest. As a woman, from your perspective, there's been too many times when a man just doesn't eat it long enough.
No.
No.
Oh yeah. Those are men you don't see again.
Those are men you don't see again?
Those are men you don't see again. It's a real good judgment of character.
Okay.
Because they're gonna be selfish in a lot of other ways.
Okay, I feel that.
Just, and you can pick that up in other ways beforehand. That just solidifies it.
So what are things that solidify him being I guess selfish in your sense, or is it not just selfish, but
just in a conversation, if you were on a date with someone and they just came across really boastful. Boastful. That just shows probably a little insight that they're gonna be very much about themselves. Mm. And then if they I've been with a guy who wanted just head. He didn't do anything for me. And I was the fool that stuck around for the duration of the experience. But but that's a man who only wants one thing and his one thing only. And
I mean, is that bad? I mean, sometimes people just...
No, it's not bad. I guess if that's what you're looking for, I suppose, because there's someone that's looking for that everywhere. But
and some people are oh, I don't want to do all this stuff. And
there's some people there's someone for that. But for me, I would be no. Where's my cookie?
Yeah, where's your cookie? Yeah. And it just takes as a man, I know obviously it does take a longer time for women, and I personally always try and take my time, and I try to, and excuse me, and I with this person right now. I love it because it gives you a chance. It's about communication. Yeah. And it's a lot about communication. It's a lot of things. A lot of times, a lot of us feel insecure about what we want to ask for.
Correct.
And there's a lot of times I've been insecure. Oh, I want this. Even if it's something little, small. You mean something that's oh, can you do this for me? It's oh, can you say this word for me or say this phrase for me or oh, can you something simple like kiss my ear. You know?
You like things said in Spanish too?
It's mira, dale. We're not gonna get. I'm trying to be as gentlemanly as possible.
Oh, I've asked a guy for that, and he said hell no, and I said, come on, what's the point of speaking Spanish if you don't say something hot?
In Spanish, no,
exactly.
I've had girls specifically say something in Spanish. I was like, fuck. I had to think about it. I knew the girl didn't speak.
It just has to be like the sexiest thing in Spanish. I don't even know.
I just started rolling my R's.
Yeah, it's gotta be something like that.
I just started learning. Ay, mira, señora, ¿cómo te quiero? I just started bullshit.
Something does it for me. I don't let me call you daddy, but you can say something in Spanish. That's where I go.
So you don't like, it's like there's the thing like in porn. It's like whose dick is this, or like who does this pussy belong to, and stuff like that.
Oh God, I don't think I've ever said that. I
like,
should
this
try
is your pussy. This is your pussy.
I should try that, but it's like it's mine. It's not yours.
It's mine. It's like
I don't know.
It's like you're gonna be back. He's gonna be back there. He's like, oh yeah, you like this rental? You like this rental? It was like those smoking it.
It's like a car payment. No way.
Oh no, that's bad. So okay, so women don't like specifically personally you.
Yeah, I don't think any woman likes a guy who's gonna be like,
call me daddy. I never been one of the daddy kind of guy. I never been like, oh baby, like I don't really been a pet name kind of guy. It's harder for me to come up with a pet name.
Yeah, we have cool names. I think that's why. Like, why would we want to be called anything other than our name?
If anything, just call me by my name.
Just call me by my name.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, just say my name, and that's fine.
Yeah, my name's cool.
It's good enough.
Maybe I'm selfish, and I like to be called my name because I'm so vain about myself. I don't know. Maybe that's just narcissistic. Yeah, maybe you're the. Maybe I'm the narcissistic one. Damn, maybe you think about. Maybe,
I mean, to be fair, like we all have our things. I mean, for me personally, like. I try not to talk about sex too much on the spot, but if you want to, like for me personally, it's hard for me to orgasm during sex. It takes me too long, and it's weird because I tell it to women and they're like, and they laugh. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible thing.
It's not a terrible thing, but it's hard.
I don't think it's a terrible thing. I think I've had someone who like has come in like literally like
as soon as they put it in.
Minute.
Like you put it on a watch. You can set your watch to them.
That we did it 5 times, and it was like an hour.
An hour.
Like the whole process of between like a break situation and everything.
I mean, but the thing is like
that's like. Do you think I enjoyed it?
I don't know.
No. Did he? Obviously, but so that's one of those situations where you just leave empty-handed.
So that's one thing about the book. So the thing about the author, the doctor, he has a problem about coming quick, right? Mm. So he has the osmosis, and his thing is like as soon as he puts it in, he pretty much orgasms right away. So he felt in his thing is like the only way he can actually satisfy a woman is through oral and is through hand. So that's where the perspective of this book comes through. It's like once again. Taking your time. It's about like for me personally, it's more satisfying like with communication. It's more satisfying when you both are on equal like terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You both, definitely. You both have consent. You both know what each other wants, and you're comfortable like expressing yourself, and that's hard to do.
That's really well. I think that's hard to find because you'd both have to be honest, and a lot of people like. Either neither one of you is honest, or you're both like not like either 2 people are not honest, or one person's honest and one person's not.
Yeah.
In majority of situations.
Yeah. And
in like situations where 2 people are very good at communication.
Yeah.
I think that's important because like I've never had that really up until recently. Like
that's good.
I've always experienced like very unhealthy communication to where we wouldn't even talk openly about anything related to sex. So if I had an issue, like I fucking kept it to myself.
Yeah. I get you. And that's the reason why, like, with women, I specifically, especially when I date them, like, I get to the point, I'll ask them, like, whenever I'm with a girl, I always actually say, I was like, may I kiss you first? Yeah. Because I'm always one of those people, like, may I kiss you? It's like, when the first time with them, I was like, can I take your shirt off? And, they say no, then I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Because I always try and like get verbal consent first, because just because you're there and you can't just assume she consents. You know what I mean? You always have to ask, and that's where I'm part of the communication. My part is like I'm a little bit when I'm first with a woman, I'm always a little timid because like I don't know what she wants. I don't know, because some women they want it very, very aggressive. Some women don't want it aggressive. And it's,
but I think you want it aggressively only when you have had like really bad situations where aggressive worked for you. I think ultimately
really bad.
Yeah, like
what do you mean really bad situation with aggressive? I don't understand what that means.
Like we've like a lot of people want aggression from like a standpoint of like some sort of like trauma of what they're used to almost. Like sometimes people want like an aggressive male figure because they didn't have that or they only had that. And so they want that, and then, but like ultimately, I think just in any way, if as long as it comes natural, that's how you want a man to approach you.
I agree. I get you.
Whereas, like, you know, like that's why the thing of like being a nice boy is like doesn't get you far, but being a bad boy does. It's only because like the bad boys is like that's what we're taught in society to like in every movie, TV show, and then like.
Damn Hollywood.
Our parents tell us, if our mom give us any advice at all, like my mom didn't give me any, but one thing that people do say is, oh, they're mean to you, they like you. So the boys that are mean to you like you, so you're drawn to these bad boys, but like, so you want that aggressive man. Yeah. But like, I don't think we really want that.
Oh, I can fix it. No.
Yeah, no. Men, I mean, I think people are capable of change, but people aren't fixable.
Well, here's what I've come to realization, and I was talked to my mother this morning, and we're talking about like people and in our family and our lives and people come and go. And one thing I stress to her is like I've come to realize I can only forgive people for so much that they did and say, because at the end of the day that person chose to be who they are.
Yeah.
And you have to say this to yourself. At what age did you decide to be who you are, to choose your own actions? Mm-hmm. And every person chooses their own actions. And I can't like just what's that gonna say? We have to choose our actions, right? And I can't just like. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm mad at them because they chose that action. Yeah. And I can't go back on that. Yeah. And the same thing was just like consent and everything. We just got to make sure just like everything is just like open and communication.
Yeah.
Keep it an open communication.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think like and little things too go a long way. Like a guy opening a car door for you. Like I have this joke where like I'll sleep with you on the first date if a guy opens the car door for me. Mm-hmm. But like it really is a thing. I don't know. It's a nice gesture. It's good to be out there do that.
I mean, I try to open doors, but the only thing that's bad with me is I'm a slow walker.
Oh, slow walker, get out! You gotta start walking faster.
Really?
Yeah, I get to point A, point B so quick. I walk so fast.
I'm a cruiser. When I'm walking, I'm like, ooh, just like cruising, taking my time. I'm looking at this, looking at the flowers. Like, especially when I lived in Hawaii, I had a rule. Every day, for 5 minutes, stop and look around.
Yeah, if I lived in Hawaii, I think I would do that every day for far longer than 5 minutes.
Well, no, here's the thing, like just the minimum of 5 minutes. It's like, because you gotta think about 365 days a week. Yeah. And, but I just take 5 minutes and just stop and look. Turn around, look here, up, okay. hey, you're enjoying yourself too much. But yeah, like even here in living in California, because living in California, there's a whole bunch of people who want to live in California. There's so many people who grow up dreaming of living in North Hollywood, dreaming of living in West Hollywood. And you know what I say? I would hate to live in West Hollywood.
Oh, Thousand Oaks is where to go. Oh. I want to die there.
Wow. Really?
It's so beautiful. It's just peaceful. I don't have to pay to park.
That's fair.
There's not homeless people pissing on the side of the road. There's not piss on the side of the road. Like, it's just clean.
Cleaner, yeah.
No, it's very clean. Like, I feel like there's not trash anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just, like, people are nice. It's not fast paced. People aren't, like, on their phones as much. I don't know. It's just, like, it's just a little bit more... It's a suburb, so
yeah.
It's just, that is.
I mean, I grew up in a suburb. I grew up, like, down bars. I like to say it's you don't go there even if you live there. That's the type of place it is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like there's no reason to stop there. Like, even if you're getting gas, there's cheaper places to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, just wait another stop. Like, you don't need to go through Down Bar. Wait till after you pass Down Bar. The gas is like 20 cents cheaper.
When I was a kid, I didn't understand why there were hotels in Thousand Oaks, because I was like, why the hell would anyone want to stop here on vacation? But now as I'm older and like I live in a different city and I have to travel out here all the time for comedy, I'm like, no, I get why I lived there and I get why people stopped on their vacation there, because it's a nice place.
Really?
Yeah.
What's there to do?
Nothing.
Then why stop there?
Because you don't want to like be able to just do something where you live. I don't know. It's nice to travel to go to do something and just live in a quiet little town. I don't know, and I think about, like, long term of my life and being like, oh, it's a great place to raise a family and, like, send children to school.
It is.
So, like, those are good reasons, too, and I feel like you'd have to get in, like, I live in Simi Valley, which is essentially the next town over. But, like, to live in that general area, I don't know, to leave it, it's hard to probably come back to it, so.
I mean, it's like California. Like, if you leave California, it's hard to come back to California.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, the only reason why it's so much easier for me to come back to California is because I lived in Hawaii. And living in Hawaii, it's pretty much like...
The same here.
It's the same because like everything's imported. So 90% of everything on the island is imported. So the gas is pretty much the same. A gallon of milk out there is like $5-7 sometimes.
Ooh.
Yeah. A gallon of milk out here is like, what, $2, $3?
Yeah, like $3.99 at most.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like $2 usually. It's like $2.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, no, I heard Hawaii is expensive. I've never been to Hawaii.
It's great. You know, I always say this: if you have a 3-day weekend, go. You know, just take an Airbnb, enjoy yourself. I personally love Hawaii, but also, when I went to Hawaii, I had a panic attack because that was the first time I was ever by myself. Because I have a big family.
Yeah.
My dad has 11 brothers and sisters. My mom has 6. Gambit, come over here. Don't mess up with the lights. Gambit. Don't mess up with the lights. So, my first night in Hawaii, I was staying in a hotel by myself off campus in Waikiki. And I was sitting in my room by myself, and I was watching like ESPN or whatever, and I was like playing around my phone. And I look around and I just start to think about like, damn, what if something happens right now? And so I think I was like, damn, like how long is it going to take my parents? Yeah. Like just for my parents to find out. Then not just for my parents to find out, but them to get there. So the closest relative I have to me is a minimum of 12 hours away. Because you got to think of them finding out. Then they gotta like find a way to get there. You know, you gotta find the first flight. Then they gotta get to the airport. Then they gotta fly from the LAX to Honolulu, and then they gotta get to me. So that means that within that time, from the airport to the hospital, that's about 12 hours.
Yeah.
So like for me, like that, I had a mini panic attack for 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my god. I was in the bathroom, I was shaking, and I was like, okay, that happened. Let's enjoy the rest of the time here. Yeah. Like, honestly, having that, like, mini panic attack kind of, like, just, like, got all the anxiety out.
Yeah.
And, like, really helped me enjoy myself.
That's good. The first time I was away, I was 17 and I went to Australia for 2 weeks.
Oof.
And I didn't have a panic attack at all. I had the opposite experience. I was like, woo!
Well, I
shared a room with my sister.
Was she, how old was she?
Like, my entire life. Like, so I was, like, 19 when I moved out of my parents' house. So, like, I never had my own room. My own bathroom.
I have.
Like, so, like, being alone at my godmother's house while I was in Australia and just, like, staying there for 2 weeks, basically unattended, was
but you're still
amazing.
Family.
No, I wasn't.
She's godmother.
She was at work most of the time. I was by myself.
But she's still some. Well, here's the thing. Like, I knew nobody. Like, I didn't have a sister, brother.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't have no godparent. Like, I knew nobody. Like, the only person I knew was 12 hours away.
Yeah.
Which is different because the thing is, like, you know somebody. So if anything happens to you, you know you're in someone who cares for your hands.
Yeah. I actually got lost, though, the first day.
Oh, no.
Like, on the train, I took the wrong train the opposite way.
Oh, no.
And then this, like, group of very nice Australian men came up and helped me find my way and then invited me to their party.
They're a little older?
No, they were my age. They were the same age as me, and I went back to their house, and we, like, just partied and drank, and, like, I took a taxi home at, like, 2 in the morning that night.
Oof. Did you enjoy
yourself? My first time. I was 17. I was like, I felt like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone.
You're like,
I'm
just
so lost in New York, but lost in Australia. I was just like, I'm a G. I'm getting by.
What's the legal drinking age in Australia?
I think it's, like, 16. It's either 16 or 17 because I was 17 and I was able to drink.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah.
Australia.
And so I was just getting I got drunk every day for 2 weeks while I was there. Like, it was, I've had a very sheltered mother and always been very, like, restricted on what I was able to do. And I didn't really do a lot of, like, bad drinking or, like, smoking weed in high school. So this was my first time to really, like, to have gone out, and I just, I did it all. I did it all.
This was your freshman year. This is like your first week of freshman.
Yeah,
like, it was crazy. But you didn't go away for college, did you?
No, I didn't go to college. So that was, like, basically my college
That was your college experience right there.
Yeah.
Damn, just imagine that if you did that for 2 years.
Oh God,
every other
child by now.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm lucky I don't have any.
Yeah, same here.
I'm lucky I don't have any children yet that I know of.
It's crazy to think that a lot of people at our age like have multiple children.
No, well, think about this. Like, we're one of those generations that like are finally starting to put like marriage and having children. Like my second oldest sister, my 2 of 4, she's number 2. To be fair, in order, she's probably third out of the 4 of us. A favorite, but that's in here. There, yeah. I'm throwing shade, but what was I say? What's
I don't even
I got so distracted on throwing shade.
We have so much ADHD.
No, we just been smoking so much weed.
That too.
That too. Damn, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, your sister and something about your sister. We're gonna like play it back later and be like, oh,
that's what I was like. I'll play it back when I'm sober. I'm like, damn, I fucked it up.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's alright. Well,
your sister doesn't want to have children, maybe?
Oh no. She had her first kid when she was like 31, 32.
Yeah, I feel like that's an appropriate age.
Yeah.
My mom always looks at me and is like, I was 29 with a child and a house and a husband, and I was like, cool. I have half of my bumper missing. Like I am going nowhere near that direction, and that's totally fine. And when I was like 24 and engaged in my life at that point, I remember thinking, I'm going to have like 3 children by the time I'm 27. I'm going to have a house, all this stuff. And then when I like became 27, I was like, I had a shitty car that barely could start. And now I have a newer car that's missing its bumper. But like, I wasn't prepared at 27 to be like a wife, a mother, or like anything. Well, and I still am not now.
Well, I would say this. One thing I was talking about someone who was older than me who was unable to have children and was trying to foster kids. He said, as a kid when I was growing up, we never had much, but at the end of the month, the end of the week, every night at the dinner table, they found a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These parents found a way. And it's just like one of these things like, it's not like you're ready. It's kind of like when it happens, you make yourself ready.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, you get 9 months.
I think financial aspects are... that's fine. Like, because I grew up not having a lot of money. We grew up pretty poor, honestly. Yeah. And, like, my mom didn't work. We had, like, one car. My dad took the carpool to work. And, like, I shared a room with my sister. We didn't have air conditioning. But, like, I have it now, and I'm like, I don't even want to run it because I'm so cheap. But, like... What was I saying? Oh, my God.
Yeah. You don't want it cheap?
But, like, yeah, I mean, the difference is that financial stuff can come, like, as it, pleases. You don't have to be rich or poor to be a good parent.
Yeah.
But to be a good parent requires, like, emotional intelligence.
That's
and,
true.
like, dealing with your trauma and what your parents fucked up. And, like, if you don't deal with that, you're going to be a shitty parent.
Well,
you could be poor, but as long as you're, like, emotionally ready, I think that's where it's different.
Well, these kids now, people who are having kids now, I should say, our peers who are having kids now, they're like the first generation to actually widely go to therapy. Exactly. Like when our parents were having us, no one went to therapy. Like honestly, only the rich people went to therapy. Like going to therapy used to be seen as a luxury.
Yeah.
Now I think going to therapy is like one of those things that you got to do, like meditation and yoga.
I mean, it's still considered a luxury if you think about the cost of like.
Ugh.
Like what insurance covers for medical versus mental health is just like night and day difference, but that's a whole other podcast.
Thing.
That's a whole other podcast special.
Yeah, I don't have the.
We don't have the time and place to be talking about the mental health stigma. But yeah, no, like I think that's what's different, and I would say like I'm getting there as far as being an emotionally ready person, but like I'm definitely in a better mind space than my mother was at my age.
I mean, at your age, how many children did your mother have?
One.
One?
Don't mess up the couch.
It's not even my couch. No, I get you. But, like, I think about it all the time. Like, my father was 20 when I was born. And so now my father, and I'm 29. And so when my father was 29, he already had his company and he was starting to build his second location. So that's when he moved from... When he was about 30, that's when he moved from La Puente Pomona, and that's when we started to really start expanding. And so it's just interesting to me. Like because my father did so much, you kind of like compare yourself to them.
Yeah.
I feel like every child compares themselves to their parents.
My mom never worked when I was growing up, and she doesn't she's never had a career. She's never been like a woman with like a
job,
like a job where I'm like, oh my god, my mom's a doctor. I want to be like her. Like she just
or your mom's like, my mom works at McDonald's.
Yeah, like I'd be like, cool, my mom works at McDonald's. Like that sounds cooler. But like,
bitch,
I love McDonald's.
No, I find that funny. It's like, fuck having a mom who's a doctor who can afford all this cool toys and shit in these nice houses. I want the mom who works at McDonald's so she can come home with some fries.
I want some McDoubles. Yeah, no, like honestly, so for me, like I think me having like a career, like a day job as a banker and like doing the comedy at night, I feel like I have that career that like is going to be inspiring to a child, whereas like my mom didn't have that. So I have to be like a good example. Whereas my mom just like her only job was to be a mother.
What does it mean to be a good example? I mean, isn't it just being a mother? I mean, I would say being a good mother is a good thing.
Being a good mother isn't the same as being a good example, though.
Okay, I get you. I get what you're saying.
Like to be a good example would be to prep your children for the right things, like emotionally, to not make your emotions more important than theirs.
So. Give me an example of that, would you?
Oh, we could talk about my mother all day.
All right, well, you don't have to pay for this therapy session.
For example, like, my mom grew up and everything was kind of about her because she struggles with, like, mental illness and, like, all this stuff. And she's had a lot of trauma and like she's had a pretty shitty childhood to where like it carried over into all of her relationships, as which does if you don't handle it.
Yeah.
And she struggles with a couple other things, and so everything was kind of about her when I was a kid. So like when we would get in trouble, she would like scream at us, and then like my parents would fight over how she reacted. And like just or like how we acted would affect her. And so, yeah, so, like, for that wasn't a good example because I view my mother as a very selfish person. I don't embody, I don't see her as, like, some strong, badass woman who will like, stop at nothing to get what she wants. Like, she's afraid to take what she wants. She doesn't say what she needs. She's not honest with herself, with other people. Like, being a good example would be the opposite of all of those things. So
I feel the opposite about my mother.
Your mother is is probably a really good example.
Yeah, well, she's really good. It's like, this is so dumb. So she's been vaccinated, all this and that, but she got COVID. I think it was the second time, like a month ago.
Oh, wow.
And I call her and I said, "Hey, Mom, how you doing?" She's like, "I'm at work." I was like, "Oh, are you okay? Like, how you feeling?" She's like, "I'm working." I was like, you know what I mean? It's like, she's like, "I'm working. Like, what the fuck you need? Like, you done? Like, I got shit to do." Like,
yeah, see, that's empowering. Like, to have, and luckily, like, I had that from my dad. Like, my dad, I remember going to work with my dad when I was a kid, and, like, we'd take the carpool van, because my mom would drop us off, and then we would take the carpool van, like, up to Malibu, because my dad worked at Pepperdine when I was a kid.
Oh, that's cool.
And
wait, what did he do at Pepperdine?
He works at UCLA now, but he is an IT manager. So he's in charge of like all the big servers and stuff. I don't know exactly what he does, but as a kid, I'd go in there and I'd look at the rooms and I'd be like, it was all cold and loud and be like, it looked like Tron, honestly. Like, it was just cool.
I know, like every time you're like, oh, so this is where they come in every spy movie to insert that
death. It's exactly like, have you seen Free Guy? In the disc where they go to, that is exactly what my dad's work looks like. So
they probably filmed it there.
Yeah.
Honestly?
So I would go there as a kid, and I remember they'd make me a fake name badge, like, from the thing, so I could... And I would just, like, go in and out of the door and scan my name badge, like, back and forth. I'd, like, walk to go get a hot chocolate.
You know what the security staff love to do. They're like, oh, look at you.
Yeah, I was a fan favorite over there.
Of course. So, like, everyone loves kids.
I think going to work with your dad or, like, your parent is, like, the coolest, arguably, thing to do ever. When you're, like, a little kid.
Okay, so cool. First... It was cool until I was about 5 years old. Because when
they put you to work.
Then they put me to work. Like, the difference is, like, I learned how to weld. I learned how to drive a forklift. I learned how to drive... Like, the first car I drove was, like, a 20-ton truck. like a dump truck. You know what I mean, like those big construction trucks.
Jeez.
That's what I learned to drive on. So like these little cars, I'm like, oh, this is so easy.
Yeah.
But I will say this: driving a forklift is so fun.
I hate driving. Absolutely hate driving.
Well, a lot of people do, but the thing is, like,
I hate driving so much.
I just think like driving is such an LA thing, like an LA like high school thing to do. Like growing up in like LA County, like it doesn't matter where you're from. Everyone to a T. Oh, we always talk about like just all our friends get in the car and just driving to some random spot.
No, I walked everywhere. I rode my bike or my scooter as a kid because everything was so close to me, and all my friends lived like on the opposite sides of the street as me. So like I would just ride my bike. I just walk there.
My friends that lived like literally like 2 cities over. Like none of my friends lived close to me.
Yeah, see, I guess that's different. Like, because when you're in a suburb, you literally are just like, and you
you
come
like,
home when the sun's down. Like,
well, Diamond Bar is an old city. So where I grew up, like when we first moved in there was a lot of kids, but they were all like, I was in 6th grade, and all of them were like in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then when I got into high school, there was no one on my block.
Oh,
like it was just me and my brother on the block. Like there was no other kids on the block.
Yeah.
So it just got to the point where the neighborhood just got old. Because neighborhoods go through cycles where like everyone's like young, everyone has kids, everyone has families, they all grow up together. But then like probably right now, how many kids live where you live now?
Oh, none.
Exactly.
The
so
one
that's what's happening.
One of the dads owns the house still, but none of the kids are there.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's no kids where you live, where you grew up, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what happened with me and my brother. So me and my brother were the only kids in the neighborhood, and so me and my brother would be the only ones playing outside. Me and brothers were the only ones out. Like it was just me, and that's it.
We had like 10 kids.
But yeah, that's where you're lucky. But like not. But like your neighborhood's old now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
so like
is moved out.
Yeah.
Or
so where there's gonna be until they all either die or go into retirement homes or something. You know what I mean? Or they're gonna all turn into Airbnbs because everyone's kid is.
Everyone does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because like. I mean, it's easy for them. It's hard for us. Like, there's nowhere to move.
No.
I mean, every like you recently moved.
I just moved, and it was the biggest bitch ever.
Because every time you apply for one place, 30 other people are applying for the same place, and they got better fucking money than you.
They have better credit and better income.
Yeah, they got better credit, better income. They got better dick size. They got a better tits. I got everything better than me.
Seriously.
Like I'm like, damn, I got my dick too small, my ass too small. I mean, that is not my tits not perfect.
Yeah, I barely. I think a dollar or a penny over, and I would have been approved.
Honestly, it's hard, man. It's hard, like just living out here, and like you hear the stories about all the people. It's like, apparently, like they all these like landowners feel like, oh, I can get more money for this.
Yeah.
And they can, because honestly, they can. Like
we'll pay it.
Mm-hmm. It's so hard. Like they said, I heard this weekend on the news that. Most people our age, you know, millennials, they make about $20,000 less than their rent.
Yeah.
So that not just like their living expenses, than their rent. So like to live in LA County is like $80,000, and most people make $60,000.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. Like, and that's how like the disparity.
You're asking the wrong person.
I'm speaking to the wrong person. Yeah, just disparity.
College education gets you.
Hey, I'm dyslexic, so you know what? I got some time extra on my shit. So the thing is I mix words and letters up. So
oh yeah.
That's what it is. But I'm smart.
I just don't know how to spell most words.
Spell or speak most words.
Yeah, but
no, but the disparity of just like being able to live and afford to live here.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. Like I know, even you have a pretty good job.
Yeah, I have a pretty good job, and I am.
You still struggling?
I'm struggling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
and
you're bank teller
during comedy. No, I'm a banker.
Banker. Excuse me.
But I'm a glorified teller too. I do it all. I have to
Uh-huh.
do transactions, and I can open a checking account.
Okay.
So if anyone needs a checking account.
Come to Simi Valley.
Come to Simi Valley. Actually, we're going to Agora Hills.
Agora Hills.
Which is fancier. It's near Calabasas. Yay.
I don't like Calabasas. It's too...
love their Bristol Farms.
Really?
Their Bristol Farms is great.
There's one in... I think the closest Bristol Farms I can think of right now was in South Pasadena.
Probably. It's a pretty bougie grocery store.
I'm not a big fan. I've been in there once and I'm like,
Their sandwiches are really good and so are their cookies.
You know, my favorite grocery store is Vallarta's.
Really? I live right next to one.
Oh, you do? That's right, you do.
I get their queso tacos all the time.
Bro, their carne asada plates, I love the carne asada plates. Honestly, like all their food, the tamales, their rice, their beans, their tacos.
Everything is good.
Everything. They have, their tortillas are made in-house. The chips are made in-house. It's like, you know what, when I first walked in there, after I left, I was like, I understand why white people like Whole Foods so much.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, it's got all this shit. It's got all this shit.
Yeah, that's why I love Whole Foods and Vallarta.
Vallarta's way better though.
It's a little half-half situation to me.
It's a duality experience.
When's the wedding, guys?
Why are you gonna be so... Can't they just be platonic, like fuck buddies?
I don't know. This is very flirtatious.
Yeah, they can just do this for now. I mean, they don't have to be committed. Why they gotta be committed?
Okay, they don't have to have a label.
Exactly. You're the one labeling them.
She's dominating him.
Yeah, of course. She learns it from me. I learned it from watching you.
Well, when I watch her now, my roommate or my neighbors are gonna be like, there's a lot of noise coming from your apartment. And I'm like, yeah, that's just two dogs playing.
But it is fun. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I love having pets. It's hard for me. Like, when I don't have a pet, it's like, I feel a little sadder.
I never had one growing up.
Really?
No, Gambit's like...
Your first pet?
I mean, I had a dog with him that I had gotten with my ex-fiance that I had to... She lives in Sweden now.
She lives in Sweden?
Long story.
What the fuck?
But essentially he's my first animal that I've had. I never had one as a kid, and so I've had him. He's 6, so I've had him for 6 years, and honestly, it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Having a dog is like the coolest thing ever. I guess until I have a kid, and then I could say they're the best thing that's ever happened to me. But like, my dog is the OG, like right here. With this gold chain you wearing.
Yeah, actually, it's surprising. Y'all both have gold chains. Why did you decide to get him a gold chain, and why did you get matching gold chains?
Well, I had already had mine, and he had a silver one, and it just
silver.
He had a silver chain. It just didn't really bring out his eyes. The gold did, and I wanted to match. Like the silver, the gold looks better.
You know what's even crazier? His chain's more expensive than yours.
No. Actually, it was.
You know I can tell because his neck's not green. I'm just kidding.
My neck has not turned green from this, actually, but these are not real. The only thing that's real are my earrings and this ring.
What kind of ring is it?
I don't know what the black thing is at all, but these are real, and the gold is real because I had someone look at it. But it's just a ring that was my grandmother's, so I thought it was beautiful. Cause
you just stole it from your grandma? Like, oh.
No.
She's like, she's seen out. She won't remember this.
No, and she passed away. There wasn't very much left.
Okay.
So what was left, I took like 2 rings.
2 rings.
And a watch, but the watch doesn't fit because she had really small wrists.
I mean, you can always get it tailored. I mean, it's just like, mainly it's just the metal thing that matters the most. Like, the other stuff, you can like usually, what is it, leather?
No, it's an all gold-ish. I don't know if it's real gold, but it's all just gold. One of those very old school small watches.
Okay. I mean, I was talking to my mom today, like, I've never been a jewelry person. It's hard for me to wear jewelry.
I love necklaces and I love earrings. That's about it. I don't wear bracelets or anything.
See, my parents, for years, they didn't know what to get us for birthday or Christmas gifts, so they just get us bracelets. And we would wear them, like, for a month.
Did you have the little bracelet when you were a baby that, like, made your hand look chubby when you got baptized? Did you?
We had those every year for Christmas, like,
I had one, too! It says your name on it?
Yeah, it says your name in cursive.
Yes, I have it. In cursive.
I lost it one time in Mexico. So we were playing, like...
I have my original one.
Wow. It's Impressive.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't pawn it.
No. It's from my family. It's probably not. I don't know if it's real. Let's be real.
Honestly, you know what's funny? They got it from the quarter machine.
Probably. Oh yeah. My grandfather was one of those people that would go to a restaurant and he would take the cup and like put it in my Oma's purse and be like, we're leaving with this. Like, he would take all of the mints from the mint thing. He would also take the sweet and low packets, the sugars, the salt and peppers.
It's just a fucking menace.
So like when we'd go to their house when we were kids, we would like if we'd ask for sugar for any of your coffees, they would just pull out like a thing, and the thing that it was in, you know, that is like the holder. Yes. They stole that too. So they stole with stolen sweet and low sugars in it.
These motherfucking menaces.
The Escobars are ruthless.
You know what? I'm gonna have to take notes.
Like, I'm
gonna need to start stealing more.
Okay, do you remember those old Coca-Cola cups that you had back in the 90s that were like shaped like that? Yeah. You know how you could only get them at restaurants? Yeah. So we had like 12 at my grandparents' house. And I remember being a kid and being like, wow, we're so cool we have the cups from the restaurant. Not realizing until I was like an adult that is because he stole them all.
I was on Instagram. I saw this TikTok about this girl and her friends. What they do is they steal the fucking doormats.
Oh, I have a cute doormat. Don't steal my doormat.
Well, they steal like the doormat at the restaurant, like the IHOP doormat.
Oh wow!
So they just roll that shit up and walk the fuck out.
Jeez.
I had one friend in college. His thing was he stole traffic cones.
My brother did signs for a bit.
Signs like.
Yeah, like he had a random sign that was like, I want to say it said like a random road. So I learned to write.
Oh, okay.
I have an alarm every day at 5:50 to write.
5:50? Why do you have it at 5:50?
Because by the time I get home and settled in, it's about 5:50.
And what is it that you write? Like, what is your thought process when it comes to it? Like, are you writing about which day?
I usually rarely write at 5:50 exactly because to be honest, I just need to like change the alarm time. I usually write really late at night, like after I've smoked a bunch of weed and like drank a little, and then I'll like watch some TV. I'll put on like Def Comedy Jam, and it gets me on like a power stream of like I have cool ideas, and then I'll just start writing.
I love Def. Def Comedy is one of my favorites.
It's on Peacock.
Is it free still?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's worth it. It's worth it.
Because it's free. Because otherwise I had to pay.
I pay $4.99 for Peacock so I can watch all the seasons of The Office.
Okay.
That's my favorite show, arguably.
So much. You can tell. I was kidding.
It's a great show.
It's good. It's good. I kind of got tired of it.
Oh my god, I was watching it earlier today.
Personally, my favorite kind of show is like anything with Tina Fey. Like Tina Fey.
You know, I never. What's that one show she was in?
30 Rock. Parks and Rec.
I've seen Parks and Rec, but that's Amy Poehler.
But no, she writes it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I love Parks and Rec. Yeah, that's a good show. That was
Amy Poehler is like the head. She's like the head writer and the head person. Yeah. But Tina's part of it.
Everyone always says I remind them of her character Leslie Knope. And I'm like, that's such a nice compliment. I'll take that.
Sure, but I don't really see how.
Yeah, I guess if I was into politics in some sort of way, I'd probably be like exactly like that.
I was dating this one girl who she was really into Parks and Rec, and she really wanted us to be like, what's her name? The little dark...
April?
April and Andy. Uh-huh. She wanted us to be April and Andy, and we were watching a show.
Burt Macklin, FBI. Is that what you were supposed to be? When he's the FBI character for Halloween? Yeah. Burt Macklin, FBI. Yeah. I love that.
No, but she was really pushing, like, you and I are Amy and Andy, and I'm watching this show, I'm like, we're not Amy and Andy, we're like, what's Amy Poehler's character?
Leslie.
Leslie and Ben.
Oh.
We were more Leslie and Ben. I was definitely a Ben. She was a Leslie.
That's a good dynamic, though.
Yeah, that's how it was, though. That's how it was. Because my favorite line from Ben was when he's like, I can be a congressman or a woman Well, I didn't even need to say that there. Because you remember when he gets like, or towards the end, I think towards like the last season when he gets like or is it not appointed, but like approached to be a congressman?
Yeah, and then I can't remember how, because I want to say I saw the reunion episode too, and I don't know how that ended. Did you see that? So I
have this thing called Better Things to Do.
Oh no! It was good. It was like after COVID. It was like during COVID or something. It was good, but I don't remember how it ends. But yeah, he gets approached, and she gets approached too at the same party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, because she was she running for mayor or something like that? Lucy.
I think it was some sort type of like Senate.
I don't remember. Like she ran for public office.
Yeah.
Honestly, it kind of got convoluted towards the end.
It was a good show though. I like the little Sebastian and finding out that when Leslie finds out that Ron is really Duke Silver. That one is gold. That episode. The Genuine scene, the like all of that. Like,
Genuine, like what's your name? Donna's cousin.
Yeah.
I love Donna. I love
treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
That's my favorite. I tell people that all the time. You need to treat yourself.
Because you honestly, with where in my field, like I tell people, always treat yourself. Treat yourself. But to be fair, I am kind of a luxury item.
I've had a massage one time in my life. It is a luxury item for sure. And it was like 2 years ago that I did it.
Wow.
And it was only because I fell down my stairs and I needed a massage, like really bad.
I was talking to my boss about this. I said before in podcast, I think we were talking about like the inflation and everything in the summer, and we were saying, she was like, some people see massage therapy as a luxury, but honestly, they need to see it as a necessity. And I stopped and was like, hold on. I said, I'm a luxury. I'm not a necessity. And she's like, no, I know what you're saying. It's like, no. I'm a luxury item. Like, when people come to me, I'm a luxury. I wine and dine and find them.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And the thing is, like, because I'm good at what I do.
Yeah, you have. I mean, I think that's important. Do you like what you do?
I love it. I tell everyone, I pretty much make naked people scream, cry, and laugh. Not in that order all the time, but it'll be there. I mean, like you said.
I just make people scream sometimes and then laugh. But also, people know I'm a comedian at my work, so they're always like, when's your next gig? I want to go. And I'm like,
your coworkers?
No, like customers.
Customers know?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that your customers know? I don't tell my customers that I'm a comedian.
I don't care. I'll let everybody know I'm a comedian. Gets the word out.
I don't tell any of my customers I'm a comedian.
I
don't even tell my customers I'm a podcast.
My sister and I were drunk last weekend in San Diego because I did a show at this cool spot called, what was it called? I think it was just open mic. Or no, it was called something mic. I'll think of it.
Do you remember it?
I can't think of it. It was in San Diego. It was a really cool new venue. But my sister and I were drunk talking to these homeless men, and she was just telling everybody that I'm a comedian. Like, every stranger that walked by. And it was so embarrassing, but it was also cool. So I was like, I don't hate it.
It's like if you were an actor, an actress, it's like, oh, my sister's an actress. And you're like, oh, I just did a commercial. You know what I mean?
Oh, someone just like sneezed in my face, Gambit.
Your face or your mouth?
In my mouth.
I will say this. I'm not one of those dudes who lets my dog lick my face.
Oh, my dog licks my face. I'm not going to lie.
Are you one of those people that lets your dog lick your mouth?
No. Like,
you hesitated.
Like, not openly. I won't open it. Like, I can close my mouth. And if
wow. You're one of those people, huh?
But if I'm not going to have my mouth open and touch his mouth, that's weird.
No, I hate those people who tongue their dog.
That is weird.
That is weird. People who tongue their dog, that's weird. If you tongue your dog, you're weird. Like, there's... What the fuck was that?
I was making... Yeah, it looked a very beautiful moment.
Now she's trying to bite? You trying to bite?
No, that's how they play.
That's how they play. Yeah. And now he's biting. See?
Yeah. Are you good?
See? We'll call the episode Dog Therapy.
Dog Therapy.
Dog Therapy. See, this is what happens when you have 2 comics of dogs, and it's hot as fuck in August.
Yeah, and you can't leave them at home.
You can't leave them at home because if you do, then they'll die.
Speaking of, what's wrong with your air conditioning, man? It's hot.
You know what the problem is? It's the Nest. So my conspiracy theory is the Nest. I have to disconnect it from the fucking internet because from what I've heard from friends is if you have it connected to the internet, that means the government can come in and like change your thermostat.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So because of the Flex Alert, what's happening is the government's coming in and they're changing it so that way it stays at like 77 during the 7 to 9.
Yeah.
But like at night when it's like middle of the night, like honestly I was blaring it the last night. It was going. I was like, but now it is like fucking stopped. It's done. It's done. It's like it does not want to come out. I'm like, bitch, I set it at fucking 63 and the bitch still ain't fucking blowing. That's the thing I hate about like these new shit, like they have to be like eco-friendly and shit. No, fuck that.
Yeah, that's dumb. Did you have to get that with your apartment or did you install that yourself?
They put it in there for us. We didn't get a choice.
Wow. That's weird. Your ear's not normal. There you go.
I like to do that to dogs. I like to put their ears like this.
Sometimes when he was a puppy, he'd wake up and they would be shifting every day to a different position. One day they were like this when I woke up. And I was terrified that they were going to stay like that. And every day they woke up and they were just getting bigger and bigger and bigger until they were just this size, yeah.
I mean, what, did he have big paws when he was a pup?
Look
at his paws now. Yeah, look at his paws now, folks. He got big old paws, like, shit. Yeah, he got big old poops.
They told me he was going to be 90 pounds. Oh, yeah, it's a double bagger sometimes. Sometimes I have to reach with both hands with 2 bags and, like, bring it up together and then, like, throw it away like that.
Wow.
Like Kobe.
I'm lucky I only have 1 bag.
No. Luckily, like, it's just one big ass poop and then it's done. Okay.
He's like, I'm out.
Gambit's out of the podcast now.
Well, I mean, he keeps coming and going. Let's see. Come here. Lucy's having a fun time,
She's having a ball.
She's having a great time.
Would you say you're having a Lucille ball?
You know, I didn't even finish on that. So the reason why we named her Lucille is because of my dad's best friend who had passed away recently, right before we got her. Actually, I forget what he passed away of. He passed away pretty young, and he had a dog who had passed away earlier who was named Lucy, who they named Lucille Bao, or who they named after Lucille Bao.
Oh.
And so he was so in honor of his friend, that's why we named her Lucy. But
that's nice.
Honestly, Lucy's just a little bitch. I
named Gambit because of X-Men. I did that so bad. And that was pretty much the only reason why. And he looked like a Gambit. Like, it just worked.
I mean, honestly, getting him was a Gambit. Yeah. You know what getting him was? You know what, when people who are married have a kid that's trying to save the marriage? That's what he was.
He was that in my relationship for sure.
Yeah.
And I kept him and I got rid of the man.
To be fair, me and my ex, we had a cat, and one of my exes, we had a cat, and we had a prenup. So the prenup was she got to keep the cat.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even get visitation rights.
I wouldn't mind a little child support from this animal. I don't know. I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't give child support. I might come through and like give him some toys or something.
I wouldn't mind that. Toys are expensive.
Yeah, they are pretty expensive. Like she actually got a toy that was like one of these toys that's supposed to be like super like durable. Bitch, within 3 days that shit was totaled. Like fucking ripped in the seams.
Oh my god, he's had the same toy for like 5 years.
No, not her. She likes to like tennis balls. She likes to rip at the seams and pull the shit off.
Oh my gosh.
She likes to take the cover off. I'm like, damn, bitch, well, why? Why? So, alright, but yeah, Remi, I'm here for about an hour. And, you know, I always love having you on. So, where can the people find you? And where's
I'm at the Comedy Chateau most of the time. Probably down the street.
I like your show.
Yeah, I'm there a lot. I hit a lot of, if you know the Baka shows, I'll be at the Baka shows.
Baka!
All those shows. I'm pretty much, I was going to ask you about a show on the 29th in Simi Valley back at Chewy's. Probably will be there on the 29th.
I'll be there on the 29th.
So I'll probably see you there.
Chewy's in Simi Valley.
Simi Valley, California. It's a real place. I'll be there. So just, you'll find me here pretty much most of the time. Not here physically.
Where can they find you online? Like Instagram?
Remi.Escobar or Remi.Escobar Comedy.
You're Remi.Escobar Comedy. This has been the Blaize interview.
And this is Gambit.
And Gambit, thank you for Gambit. And Lucy, as always, she finally had some fun on one of the podcasts. Usually she's out on the side sleeping and crying.
Oh, God. He totally hit me then.
He hit you with his face.
He hit me with his face. Oh.
Alright, take care, y'all.
Bye.